Our next performer is going to be Brady Willis. He's coming to you from Maryville, Missouri area, by the way. So he drives down here about 45 minutes to make us laugh and have a good time. I don't know why, but you look like you might do my taxes. Yeah, you in the Kansas shirt. So, you're the one that I gotta fucking cuss at. Alright, so, anyways, we're off subject. Everybody give it up for Brady Willis coming to the stage. Give him your love.
I'm gonna take a second to set up. So how's everyone doing tonight? Yeah! This is gonna be fun. So yeah, my name's Brady. I'm from Maryville. And I like to be prepared for things like this, so I looked up what the word rendezvous means, because I didn't actually know. And it means is when you meet at an agreed time and place. And once I read that, I realized that, like, my family's never rendezvoused anywhere. We'll agree to a time and place, but when we meet, we will be late. Something else, like, anybody here religious? Yeah?
Not anymore.
Not anymore? But your family was religious growing up and stuff, which I think is great. I love this country. I love that we have the freedom of religion, and I love how everyone gets so excited when somebody finds peace in a new religion and their life is better. But you gotta be careful, because if you become too religious, we're also happy to send the ATF to burn your fucking house down. So be safe. Don't pray too hard. So, I was raised very religious. We were a very religious family. Which what that means is no one ever talked to me about sex. So, but we went to church all the time. And they would talk to us about sex at church. But that was simply just, don't do it until you're married. And the youth pastor constantly citing Bible verses damning masturbation. Or as God would have it, the spilling of one's seed. These Bible verses always needed your interpretation. They weren't straightforward. For instance, one verse that I always remember was Genesis 38, 7 through 10. And this is where Judah has his oldest son killed by God because he was wicked. So Judah commands his younger son to have sex with his dead brother's wife so she can have babies. And if he does this, then he can have kids with his own wife. Onan, not cool with this. So when he has sex with his dead brother's wife, he pulls out and skeets on the floor. This angers God, but only because he spilled his seed. And then he causes Onan to die prematurely. So God's cool with committing adultery with your dead brother's wife as long as you don't pull out. Maybe we were quick to judge Hunter Biden. I mean, they're a religious family. Surely he knows about God's no pulling out while fucking your dead brother's wife rule. He's good. Because of these confusing masturbation verses, I was pretty spill-free until about right after I turned 16. When, like a skinny, less talented Tim Tebow, I returned from a mission trip to Mexico, where we dug wells and played the Passion of the Christ to what I thought seemed to be unsuspecting crowds. We hung a large sheet in the town square and had movie night every night for a week, just to be sure they got the message. Mel Gibson hates Jews. Anyways, after this mission trip, I got to talking to a girl that was on this mission trip with me. And that's a big deal when you're talking to a girl and you have a mullet and acne and braces and you're very religious. And I was on the phone one night with her, and she said to me, I've been praying to God, and He said that we shouldn't be together. And she hung up. I had been loyal to God my whole life to this point. And the first chance He gets, He fucking cockblocks me. So to get back at Him, you know what I was doing? Spilling. Like Michael J. Fox eating soup on a roller coaster. Yes! There you go. And Jesus wept. You know, that mission trip, like, it's always stuck with me. It was fucking weird. We played, there's like little children, we're just like, Jesus just getting beaten on a large sheet in this town square for a straight week. But anyways, as I got older, it kind of bugged me. But no worries, because Tim Tebow did an interview for the New York Times about what he did on his spring break. He went on a mission trip and was invited to assist doctors in some medical procedures. He was circumcising young impoverished boys in the Philippines. To this day, he doesn't have a medical degree or background. He goes back all the time, though, through his Tim Tebow Foundation. So I don't feel too bad. All we did was force a small town to watch Mel Gibson trash the Jews for a straight week. This dude is a serial circumciser with 0 medical credentials. And they say we made enemies while fighting overseas. I mean, ISIS was bad. But we never sent Tim Tebow to cut their dick skins off. That's a terrifying enemy. I hate Tim Tebow. So, like Dan said earlier, I am a veteran. And because I served and fought for Halliburton, I take any injustices that I see in everyday life very seriously. Especially that of equal representation. For instance, does anyone here struggle with naps like I do? Living with a national average penis size comes with many challenges in today's society. Just recently, I was shopping for dildos, and let me tell you, I did not feel represented. I think dildos need labels on them letting people know how much bigger they are than the national average penis size. You see those on food packages all the time. This is not the actual size. Because, trust me, in the moment is not the time you want them to learn what average is. It can end very badly. And if you don't believe me, then you've never found yourself in reverse cowgirl with someone pulling up thinking they got clearance for 8, but all you got is 6. And if that person on top is drunk, you can say goodbye to their aim. You've now found yourself in a situation relying entirely on someone else's ability to thread the needle, while they blindly hammer their body weight onto your crotch. The whole time you're just one imagined inch away from disaster. That's why safe sex for me has always been when I control the thrusts. That way, when my dick falls out, it's on my own terms. Now listen, I can't complain too much. When you're more represented in the butt plug section, anal sex is not elusive. Oh man, I'm telling too much about myself. So another PSA real quick. Male enhancement supplements are fake. Yet they made over $200 million last year selling that snake oil. But I think I may have found a solution. I was recently on Reddit reading about a trans woman who's been shrinking her penis for the last 4 years using hormone therapy. Don't do that. If you're looking for a downsize, I'm looking for an upgrade. I got a bunch of sad dick pics on my phone to prove I'm your guy. You see, I think trans women are missing out on the dick envy market. That's no snake oil between their legs. And they've been sewing penises on since the 90s. Clearly, the world's next billionaire is a well-endowed trans woman auctioning off her knee slapper online. Dick swap would not only be the next Pornhub category, it would be our country's next hit show. Think of all the small-dicked, racist, and bigots coming together with trans women of all types to help make each other's dreams come true. A redistribution of dicks would equal less racism and bigotry in our country as we enter into transracialism, dick first. Listen, all I'm really trying to say is, please, don't shrink your penis. Consider mine instead. You know, it really is nice to know that there's a group of women out there, though, that want my penis. Even though it's only because their penis is too big. Does anyone here, declare their sexuality, publicly? Like, I'm straight, I'm gay, I'm do whatever. No? Nobody does? Well, I think it's kind of odd when people do declare their sexuality. Mine seems to be more of a situational thing. For instance, if you, sir, were to ask me, what would it take for me to suck your dick? I would say, well, it depends on my situation. Currently, I would need life-changing funds to do it willingly. But if I go 3 days without food and sleep, I'll do it for a cracker. If you add in the cold, I'll do it as long as we cuddle after. This is what military training taught me. Survival. Nothing's gay if you're trying to stay warm, they would tell us. Really made you start to understand the ancient armies, like the Spartans. I mean, they were cold, hungry, tired, and gone for years at a time. Of course they fucked each other. In Ranger School, by the third day in the cold mountains, I was already sharing my sleeping bag with a strange man to stay warm. You give me another month, I would have been a Spartan. Or at least the guy that'll suck your dick for a cracker. Either way, I'm going to survive. Listen, I know I talk a big game, but I think you should know, I would not be very good at wiener sucking. Because you see, I had terrible allergies for all the seasons. For instance, at the beginning of August every year, I start my annual 2-month period of constantly looking like I just got done sucking cock. My eyes are puffy and watery. My mouth's always hanging open because I can't fucking breathe out my nose. So I figured next August I'm going to wear cheap mascara and start an OnlyFans page. Man. Title every picture, post throat fuck. No one will be the wiser. It's the cotton mouth. It's getting me. What's that weed Adam was talking about? All right. You guys are great. Whew. So, I was watching TV the other day, and I saw this commercial for Cologuard. Anybody seen this commercial? People dance, and then it's all about pooping in a box and sending it off in the mail to see if you have colon cancer. They sure make it seem enjoyable. What they do is they give you a toilet attachment that makes the toilet hole smaller that you're supposed to shit in. This proves that the people of Cologuard must be using different public toilets than I do. Based on the massacres I've witnessed, I think we need to make the holes bigger. But with Cologuard, not only must you aim like an Olympian, Cologuard requires your specimen to be no bigger than a walnut. Like I got those laying around, and they don't even tell you what they mean. The nut? The shell? Or straight off the tree green? We don't know, bro. They do not say how you should come to meet these standards. You just figure it out. And once you have met all of Color Guard's requirements, you must now return your specimen. You should know Color Guard does not take their branding off of their return packaging. So no matter the return option you choose, to drop off locally or schedule a pickup at your house, people are going to know what's in the box. As the instructions say, you must leave your box of shit in a visible location. And because Color Guard is a top-of-the-line business, they only ship UPS. So when they ask, what can Brown do for you? They can haul our nation's cancer-ridden shit in trucks that reach 140 degrees. It's no wonder those drivers went on strike for air conditioners. That's the same temperature as a porta potty in Afghanistan. And trust me, I know. I masturbated in those. Please remember that if you want to thank me for my service later. So, I'm white.
Now that's funny.
I get a lot of freckles. Like, a lot. Which is just my skin cells overproducing melanin when I'm exposed to the sun. Because I was originally born without any. My skin cells have spent the last 34 years trying to perfect this poor design. That's why I think it's crazy every time I see a ginger who's racist towards black people. Like, dude, your body's literally trying to correct itself to their better suited skin color. Sadly, a lot of racism is due to jealousy from us pasty folk, who realize that if global warming continues, we're fucked. We do our best work in poor lighting. I'm easily a 5 in the light, pushing a 7 in the dark. Really, an ice age would be more in our favor. Maybe that's what Michael Jackson was preparing for. No. Anybody else like to listen to like rap, hip hop, R&B, stuff like that? Oh yeah, fucking love that shit. But to be honest, I don't know the difference between those three. I'm a white guy from the Midwest. I just know it's not country. My favorite artist, though, from this mysterious genre is Too Short. Even though he tells me in every song how his dick is bigger than mine and he's gonna fuck my wife. For instance, he says in the Good Book of Cocktails, chapter 13, verse 2 and 3, I'm short, dog, ain't nothing nice. You ever make me mad, now fuck your wife.
Well,
Now-
that's safe.
I love his music. I love his music. I'm sure he's a nice person, but I don't think I could ever have him over to my house. He's got me on the dick thing. I will not allow him to make it 2 for 2. I think a lot of these rappers nowadays should just start a cult on the side. I mean, if you want to fuck everyone's girl, it's a proven route. You just can't pee on them.
That's new.
R. Kelly. The government, prison. So yeah, everyone else said like they have kids. I know Adam said this earlier, who has kids. Woo, got kids. Some people do. Well, when my wife was pregnant with our youngest, I was, you're worried about getting gifts, making her happy. She's just uncomfortable. And I was trying to find gifts about motherhood and stuff to make her happy. What I found were all these sites selling jewelry from post-pregnancy, making jewelry from post-pregnancy body fluids. Like breast milk, amniotic, placenta. That was gross. So I saved the bag of fluids. And it's still in my freezer 7 years later. I just can't seem to find the right occasion to get a ring made with a card that says, to always remember, this came out of you. Do you think people ever get post-abortion jewelry made? Like, I didn't want a kid, but I fucking love this necklace. So, surprisingly, I have been told throughout my life you can't say that. And I'll give you some examples. I was Christmas this year. I got some house slippers from my stepmother, and they were a little small, and I just wanted to make her happy. So I said, "Don't worry, I'll just trim my toenails, and they'll probably fit." You can't say that. At another family dinner, I had a family member tell everyone how many kidney stones they had recently passed. And I just said, "Jesus Christ, what does your urethra look like? A tattered flag?" Can't say that. When I see a when I see a fat firefighter and ask, "We send them into weakened structures?" Can't say that.
Oh, hey now.
When the news is telling me, hang on, I've got more. When the news is telling me that Social Security is going to run out because too many people are living longer, and I say, "But aren't over 40% of Americans obese?" Can't say that. When I see a fat police officer and say, "You know they shoot first," can't say that. I apologize for all those things I just said.
Don't apologize. It's fun.
Oh my God, I need to
It's the
drink
same thing when
water.
I was a police officer.
That's why the robots are coming. Because the crackheads don't get fat, but the police do. Oh, sorry. I'll get off that, people. Okay, so you guys know I was in the military, and one of the great benefits we get is we get to go to the VA hospital. I recently went to the VA hospital, and the doctor explained to me that they were going to check my prostate. This was my first official prostate exam. I was nervous and unaware of the process that it was going to be like. So when he asked me if I would like a chaperone, I quickly said yes. I was like, fuck yeah. So when the doctor came back in with a female chaperone, I was like, fuck yeah. I was feeling better. You know, someone's got my back here. And she walks up to me, I'm thinking she's going to say something like, "My eyes will not leave your asshole. This is what I went to school for." You know, and like, I'm expecting like chaperone shit. She walks up to me, she goes, "I'll be over here facing the wall." I was like, what the fuck? And I had so many things to say. I thought that, in my head, I'm just like, that's a code. And she's just like, the doctor's like, "Molest this motherfucker." I'll be over here facing the wall. You know, just like, what the hell? So I have so many things. I want to like start pleading to this woman, but the doctor interrupts me. He's quick. He's like, "Bend over the table." I'm like, okay. So I do, and I bend over the table. I'm like bent over the table, and I'm like, "I got this. I've been bending over. I got this. I can do this." And he just goes, "Not like that." Fuck. So I paused. It's not like he gave me a pamphlet. Like there was no pamphlet. I'm like, "This is how I want you to bend over." He just asked. I didn't do it right. So I paused. What can I do differently? So I bent my knees. So I bend my knees, and he just goes, "No." And so, 3 more times, this guy's on his knees behind me. I'm doing whatever the fuck I'm doing. And it was wrong. And he just kept going, "No. No. No." Finally, I just felt a hand on my back. And he just pushed me down into his position that he liked. And he answered me. I learned 2 things that day. I don't have colon cancer. And I should have just pooped in the box. This message was brought to you by Cologuard. They don't care if it's running. That really happened though, by the way. That was a terrifying experience. It was weird. So, anybody here like guns? Yes! I love guns. But I think we can all agree that there are some people out there that just shouldn't have them, right? How come, if you're on the sexual predator list, you can still buy a van?
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
I think we're making it too easy.
That's fair.
Listen, I think we should relegate all the sexual predators to horse and buggy. I think it really helped cut down on the child abduction. It surely would have slowed down Epstein. Do you know how long it takes to get to an island using a horse and buggy? The AI said several months. And to be clear, it has to be both. You can't just be a horse. Alright, these pedos are clearly motivated. They got islands. If you just made them ride horses, they'd become the next Comanches. Just snatching kids at full gallop. That's why you have to add the buggy. But sadly, we would no longer trust the Amish. As our nation's predators would move near Amish communities to blend in. And I know it sounds terrible, but in the end, I honestly think it's a win-win. You know, you see the Amish, they're great. They've been around for 274 years in America and are famous for not accepting new members. Yet they continue to have loads of kids. They could probably use some new neighbors eager to fuck their kids. I use kids too many. I gotta go back and with that. It'd help with their incest. Alright. So I'm from a small town, a little up north. And I a lot of times wonder what my reputation is in that town.
Your reputation
The other
right
day,
now.
shut up, Zeke. I'm kidding, I don't even know your name. Just like yelling out something.
I'm pretty pissed you knew mine.
I know. Anyways, you can yell all you want. I live in a small town, and I honestly do wonder about my reputation all the time. Because I have family and kids, and they go to Catholic school, and then I'm me. The other day, I was at a parade with my kids in this town, and was handed a koozie that read, "Don't rape." They did not give these to anybody else around me. It clearly felt like a targeted ad. So I've honestly been working on my not a rapist vibe lately. If anyone has any tips after this, you can come find me. I'll be by the dumpsters with the horse and buggy. You guys have a good one.